This is QTV News, broadcasting from the Gambia, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Our top stories. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro to tackle plastic pollution in Africa. Military officer confesses to torturing OJ and other detainees. IGP says no demonstrations without permit. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro has been selected by the African Union Commission as the regional chair for the West Africa to lead the continent-wide efforts of ensuring a pollution-free Africa. The selection of the First Lady took place during a high-level working session on banning plastics in Africa, which was held on the sidelines of the African Union Heads of State and Government Summit currently underway in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Momodu Gajaga has the rest of that story.
In this new role, the continental body would rely on First Lady Barbaro's wisdom and good office to spearhead the regional campaign to ban and eradicate plastics on the continent. Reacting to the news, the First Lady expressed excitement about the opportunities her new role would avail to add her voice onto the global advocacy for a cleaner and healthier planet. She vowed to marshal all strengths in seeing the banning of plastics across Africa. First Lady Barbaro said as chair of West Africa, she is committed to the gradual eradication of plastics through advocacy and awareness raising on the impacts of plastics. Adding she would share experiences on strategies and measures being undertaken to address the plight of plastics, while showing appreciation to the Commission for the honor. The African Union is concerned with the increasing pollution, especially in the major cities of Africa. Hence the campaign to see a pollution-free Africa. The world is swamped by harmful plastic waste. An estimated 8 million tons of plastic ends up in the oceans, according to an official report. If the present trend continues, by 2050, our oceans will have more plastics than fish. The government of the Gambia is conscious of the health and environmental hazards associated with the growing demand for plastics and remains committed to maintaining the ban on plastic bags.
Captain Babu Karba of the Gambia Armed Forces on Tuesday admitted he participated in the torture and abuse of political detainees who were arrested in the aftermath of the military takeover in 1994. He made these revelations while testifying before commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. QTV's Ansumana Isonyasi has the rest of that story.
Appearing before commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission, as the second witness to testify on the November 11th alleged massacre of members of the Gambia Armed Forces and the torture of political detainees of 1994. Captain Bouakar Ba of the Gambia Armed Forces on Tuesday made disturbing revelations and admitted to have physically participated in the alleged torture of political detainees, key among them former Agriculture Minister Omar Jallow, otherwise known as OJ Jallow. Beginning his testimony, Captain Ba gave his account of the events of November 11, 1994, claiming he had little knowledge of the alleged massacre of members of the armed forces. On the abuse and torture of OJ Jallow and other political detainees, the witness admitted to have participated in torturing them, claiming it was under the influence and directive of Almamo Mane, who was described by previous witnesses as a ruthless officer.
Few of them were isolated. I think about 3 or 4 of them were isolated, and they were already instructed to undress. Then I came close to OJ, and Almamo himself hit him. When I came close to him, as I was coming close to him, thinking of what Almamo has told me, I was really angry. Why should this guy think like that? He had been in government for so long, these people just came in, we are transitioning. Why should he think in that line? So as I came close to him, I punched him on the stomach. I hit him on the stomach. Then he bent down, and then I started, beating him with my hands, So suddenly, because Fajara Barracks was the headquarters of the gendarmerie, then when I look around, I was not satisfied with hitting and kicking him with my hands and my feet. I saw that, these truncheons that were being used by the gendarmes, for some reason, I don't know, they were littered around, So I reached out for a good one.
Take your time, Captain Ba. Just take your time and tell your story.
Yes, I want to continue. So, as I said, very regrettable. Then I reached out for that one, and I was hitting him, mercilessly on almost all parts of his body, his head especially, and then the feet and the body. I was hitting him there, and then he fall down, then, I kick him also, and I was hitting him,
Further testifying, the witness apologized for his actions, seeking forgiveness from OJ Jallow, his family, and the Gambian people. His only worry, he says, is how the world would now view him.
Because this is a mistake that has happened to me, and I don't want the mistake to happen to me again. So even before I was called to this commission, wallahi, Allah knows what is in the heart of everybody. I was already working on the modalities. Usman is here, he can prove me. If I'm lying, let him tell the commission I'm lying. If I'm telling the truth, also let him tell the commission that I'm telling the truth. But I have been already working on the modalities, because when I last asked, he told me that Uncle OJ has gone to Nigeria on this election observer thing. And that is why we did not actualize our movement to go and apologize to him. I want to accept that I am guilty. What I have done is wrong. I have offended him. I have offended the people of the country, because I'm a soldier. I'm supposed to protect the people of the country. And I have also offended my family for them, after them knowing now that, our brother, our father can do this type of thing. It's really very tormenting internally. So I have accepted guilt 100%, and I regret definitely why I have done this. What was going on in my mind to do this type of things. And I will urge the indulgence of the commission, which are here to establish the truth of what happened from July 1994 to January 2016. I will urge their indulgence to try to show me the way and to help to make sure that I apologize to Uncle OJ and I atone for this sinful thing that I did.
Meanwhile, Captain Ba said he was twice a victim, as he was arrested and detained in 2012 following an incident at the Fajara barracks, and 2017 during the month-long political impasse. Ansumana Nyasi for QTV News.
The Office of the Inspector General of Police wishes to inform the public that it is aware of an audio circulating on social media about an intent to demonstrate without a permit, which contravenes the principles of democracy. Therefore, it is important to note that under Section 178 of the 1997 Constitution, the police force is responsible for preserving, protecting, and maintaining public peace. There is nowhere in the world where a person or a group of persons occupy the streets without the consent of the relevant authorities, whose presence will be to protect lives and property of everyone. The public is hereby reminded that the Office of the Inspector General will use all means reasonable to ensure that the peace and tranquility of this country will never be compromised in all its forms. Furthermore, those who may want to protest or demonstrate should ensure that they comply with the law in order to be protected by the law. Inasmuch as being in a democratic society, one has the right to the enjoyment of fundamental human rights, but of course, such rights go with certain responsibilities. The Office of the Inspector General therefore solicits the cooperation and understanding of all persons residing in the Gambia, as with peace everything is possible. Therefore, it's everyone's responsibility to guard jealously the peace and tranquility that the Gambia is known for ever since. The Senegal-Gambia Network of Women and Leaders Annual Trade Fair was held over the weekend in the Senegalese second capital of Kaolack, in its efforts to meet one of its constitutional obligations of organizing annual international trade exhibition to facilitate local and international trade. The trade also focused on participations of foreign countries, thereby enhancing competition among both local and foreign manufacturers and increased trade. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that story.
The Senegal-Gambia Trade Fair Network has launched its fourth edition of the International Trade Fair under the theme Valorization of Local Products, the Mastery of Parameters of the Competitiveness, Trade between Senegal and the Gambia, Realizations and Challenges. For her part, Seydar Moussoukoro Mbaye, president of the Senegal-Gambia Farmers Entrepreneurs, held the two countries in their maturity of understanding in coming up with such initiative, saying there is no difference between the Gambia and Senegal because we share the same culture and religions. Aja Mariam Adelisi, Vice President Senegal-Gambia Network of Women Entrepreneurs, highlighted her impression on such a move between Senegal and the Gambia, urging the Senegalese authority to cancel their custom offices to ease levying heavy tax on Gambia's citizens anytime they are entering in Senegal.
I'm here with over 300 Gambian women. Some of them are here to exhibit and some of them are here just to represent the Gambia and also to showcase Gambian products and also to encourage integration and trade between the Gambia and Senegal.
How many Gambians benefited from this 3 days training?
About 100, about 50 Gambian women and 50 Senegalese women.
Aja Fatou Senghor, head of delegation Team Gambia, revealed that there will be a special marketplace for the Senegal-Gambia Network in its every annual celebration. The former Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Farmata Jallow Tambajang, outlined aims and objectives on how both the two countries could work together in order to come up with a unique, suitable national anthem.
Empowering women and fighting for their rights over the years. How significant is this forum with regards to supporting women entrepreneurship and leadership?
Thank you for having me. This is a very important endeavor which was initiated by the two presidents of Senegal and the Gambia, His Excellency Macky Sall and Excellency Barbaro, through a commission, a presidential council meeting. After that, we had the birth of the Public-Private Sector Forum, which was held in October last year in Dakar, which was presided by my humble self and the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Sidi Kaba, on behalf of His Excellency the Prime Minister Mohamed Diouf. Now we have this network of women entrepreneurs leadership, which is aimed at empowering women economically, both Senegalese and Gambian women, through entrepreneurship. We know that entrepreneurship has proven to be a tool to combat poverty alleviation, for combat poverty, especially the feminized poverty. And we know that women are the talent and ingenuity that we require for development. They are mainly in the informal sector. This network is aimed at giving them the resources, the required training, business training, the information sharing, the networking, and with the political support to access resources and manage resources.
Mr. Seringbo, head of Assembly de Commerce in Kaolack, commended the two leaders for their foresightedness. Mr. Ibundur, Gambia Consulate in Senegal, assured the Senegal-Gambia Network support from the two leaders. He also challenged them to unite and do away with casual words or unpleasantries words to each other.
Senegal is our next door neighbor, And a successful economic integration between the Gambia and Senegal is a recipe for successful economic integration for ECOWAS. This is a very good initiative that should be encouraged.
Other speakers includes the Speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of the Gambia, Mariama Jack Denton, and the Deputy Speaker of the Senegalese National Assembly, our guy. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Vehicles weighing 10 tons below are enjoying the new Senegambia Bridge after the company awarded to construct the site says the bridge is not fully ready to allow all vehicles to ply the bridge. This comes to the disappointment of many users of the place, particularly the truck and bus users who still continue to use the ferry service, with some spending nights before accessing the ferry to cross. Babu Karsi visited the much talked about Senegambia Bridge, and this is his report.
The Senegambia Bridge, inaugurated on the 21st of January by Presidents Barbaro and Macky Sall, to the delight of the Senegambians, over the weekend we visited the area to see how the movement of cars at the bridge has been going and the latest since the opening of the bridge. But to our surprise, work is still in progress and the contractor is only allowing vehicles weighing 10 tons below to ply the bridge, citing safety reasons. These vehicles are not allowed to use the bridge at 7 p.m. because there are no lights and unsafe for cars to use. Senegalese commercial buses and loaded trucks that frequently use the ferry were delighted after the inauguration of the bridge, but after arriving at the area, they claimed that they were denied using the bridge and asked to use the ferry, which left some of them spending days before accessing the ferry to cross. Badara Nying is a truck driver who claimed to have been stranded at the crossing point for 3 days, and according to him, since the inauguration of the bridge, the problems have increased, he claimed. The problems have increased instead of reducing. The newly built bridge is just news to us, as we the truck and bus drivers were not included in the project because since its opening, small vehicles are allowed to ply and they are not allowing us to use it. I have spent 3 days here and I can't use the bridge, neither the ferry. I was in Dakar when I saw on the television that the bridge is inaugurated and I was excited that I won't be spending much time, but unfortunately, I came to find something worse. Maggie Gay, a bus driver, says the authorities say they only allow the small vehicles to ply the bridge, and that is not fair to us, the bus drivers and our passengers. We are carrying on our buses different people, so I don't understand when they call it a Senegambian bridge. If they really mean that word, let them allow Senegambians to use the bridge because it is built for us. Njaga, a truck driver, says, our only concern as truck drivers is the amount of time we are made to spend waiting to cross with the ferry, and sadly, we sometimes have to spend all our money we have because we have to eat and we all have to buy food for ourselves and our apprentice for days, and sometimes I spend about $500 daily before accessing the ferry. I missed these crossing points for months, and after arriving here with joy that I will be crossing using the bridge, only to be told we the ones with big cars are exempted. The bridge is a great development to all, but it would have been better if they allow us all to use the bridge. The vehicles currently allowed to use the bridge are charged as follows. 4 passengers are paying $50 to cross, 7 passenger vehicles $250, 4-wheel drive at $300, and other commercial vehicles locally called Gele Gele with 22 passengers are charged $500. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Meanwhile, the vendors at the Bambatenda Yelitenda crossing point are calling on the government of the Gambia to fulfill the promise made to them by building a market at the crossing point. The vendors claim that since the opening of the Senegambia Bridge, their sales have gone down, and most of the locally made shops that were removed with a promise of building new stores for them is unfulfilled. Babu Karsi reports again.
Business at the Bambatenda crossing point is not promising, according to the vendors and store owners, because of the newly built bridge. They claim that they were promised by the authorities that they would be provided with a standard market following the destruction of stores and locally made shops, but till date, to no avail.
Because 84 ba legi mangi fi 84 mangi yor sama njabot maa ngi dundal sama njaboot maa ngi fay school maa ngi fay lu ne xëy po mi am joxuñu benn marché métti nañu trop.
Usman Seka, who claims to have been doing business at the ferry crossing point since 1984, said this is the only place he depends on feeding his family, thus calling on the authorities to provide them with a better and standard facility for their businesses to excel.
Depuis 81 ba léegi 81 la ba léegi maa ngi fi yaa nekk fii sama njaboot ginnaaw yàlla li yaakaar kii li wax lu lay dëggal wax loolu am.
Mamadou Diop has been selling food items since 1981 at the Bamba Tender crossing point, and he too echoed similar sentiments, calling on the government to come to their rescue. The same was said by Dauda Kante, a beverage seller, who said the little he makes from his sales is taken to his mother as the only son in the family. According to the vendors QTV spoke to, they were promised by the authorities that they would be provided with a new market accompanied by the bridge so as to raise business standard at the new Senegambia bridge, but till date, the government is yet to fulfill the promise. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Butchers at the Abuko Central Abattoir on Monday converged at their ground to discuss their challenges. The members also complained that there are unscrupulous people who deal in butchery unlawfully, which is affecting their business. Ibrahim Abalde reports.
Omar Jawo, the president of Butchers Association, described the event as timely and necessary. He also lamented on the dubious activities of the unlawful butchers who are not registered. Mr. Jawo called on all butchers to carry out their duties with honesty and make sure they give the right measurement. He further thanked the Livestock Association for supporting them. Mr. Ibrahim Jallo, president of Livestock Association, also urged all the butchers to take their job seriously.
Woni gaynako woni jula woni buuse fokko gotum liggey fokko gotum gaynako teddini hore makko jula teddini hore makko.
As butchers, you need to respect the job that you do. It is very important because this is where you earn your living. All of you have families. So respect your customers and make sure you give satisfaction to your customers, because they are the reason why you are here. As a butcher, you need to be clean, maintain hygiene all the time. With the Livestock Association, we are here to make sure all goes normal. Uniforms and numbers were also given to butchers for easy identification. They advised the general public to be vigilant and take note of the green uniforms with numbers to identify the registered butchers of the abattoir. Ibrahim Abalde, QTV News.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. First Lady Fatoumata Barbaro has been selected by the African Union Commission as the regional chair for West Africa to lead the continent-wide efforts of ensuring a pollution-free Africa. The selection of the First Lady took place during a high-level working session on banning plastics in Africa, which was held on the sidelines of the African Union Heads of State and Government Summit currently underway in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Captain Babu Karba of the Gambia Armed Forces on Tuesday admitted he participated in the torture and abuse of political detainees who were arrested in the aftermath of the military takeover in 1994. He made these revelations while testifying before commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. The Office of the Inspector General of Police wishes to inform the public that it is aware of an audio circulating on social media about an intent to demonstrate without a permit, which contravenes the principles of democracy. Therefore, it is important to note that under Section 178 of the 1997 Constitution, the police force is responsible for preserving, protecting, and maintaining public peace. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching.